Hello, hockey fans, and welcome inside the Grand Harvey Center as we get set here for the last game of Saturday's matchup here at the U18 Maritime Female Hockey League Showcase here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, as the puck is dropped and we are underway between the Rockets and the Capitals. As right off the opening draw, Daniel's shot there. That goes stop early on there. As that'll lead into the introductions for the starting goaltenders. The sharp save there to start the game, number 30, Lauren Delaney. She'll come into this game with a 8-7 record, a 1.4 goals against average, and a .934 save percentage. So pretty impressive stats there. A GAA under 2 and a save percentage over 900, and all good stats there for her. She's only allowed 22 goals total on the whole season here so far. 200 feet down from her, wearing number 30, is going to be Morgan Redmond coming into this game. Redmond has a 11-2 record, a 184 GAA, and a .904 save percentage. So better save percentage for Delaney, but the better win record coming down the other end for Redmond. She's only allowed 24 goals on the season, so both impressive stats here for these two goaltenders. So look for a goaltender matchup here in this Saturday night game. As we're underway, a little delay here, about 50 minutes in built up over the day to delay this game to about an 8:50 start here inside the Grand Harvey Center. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Logan Carruthers, Theo Iatru on the camera. We're live on High Button Sports. So the one before this had stretched into overtime, so that delayed this even further. The Northern Selects coming out on top 3-2 over the Western Wolves. A very close game. The Wolves actually led going into the last few minutes of the period by a score of 2-1, and coming back, the Selects winning in overtime. So a big win there for them to keep them up near the top of the standings, as they currently sitting in second place, I believe, as the Rockets sit in third, the Greenfoot Capitals in fourth. Caps coming into this game with a 16-11-2 record, and the Rockets with a 24-3-1. So impressive record for them. And as I'm saying, that Lola Boutlier continues her weekend with another point shot that beats the goaltender high past the glove, and Lola Boutlier opens up the scoring here for the Rocket once again. Lola Boutlier had a 2-goal game earlier on in the tournament, and she'll continue the hot stick there as she walks the line and snaps one home past Lauren Delaney, and a 1-0 lead for the Rockets. It's been all Rockets here, 4-0 here so far. Driscoll on the draw. That'll be worked back. Here's Cormier in her own zone. She'll work it out. Rodyer can't get it out in deep as it's flipped back in. Good job there to stick with it. Was the stick of Zara Prince as she was falling down as she let that puck go. Driscoll right back here over the turnover. She'll get blue line and dump it in, peel off for a change. All three new sets of legs out there up front for the Capitals as it's worked out by the captain, Poirier, for the Rocket. Forechecking there. Good job was Rodyer. Now she'll peel off for a change. McFadden is going to get in there on the forecheck. McFadden with a stick lift there. That's cleared out. Good job there by Carly Beaton. As Wilkie just outside the blue line. She'll wait for her teammates to get tagged up. Now she'll dump it in. That'll send McHenry in on the forecheck. Nice move by Arsenault to get around McHenry. She'll look to Savoie, delayed icing call here, a foot race for it, but Harlan gets to it first and stoppage of play. The Capitals still awaiting their first shot, so Redmond, no shots on goal here so far as her team has the 1-0 lead. McFadden on the defensive zone draw. There's O'Dane in there. She'll lose that as here comes Daniel. The ever dangerous Annabelle Daniel. She'll dump it in and give chase. as that's Walter getting pressure down there. She has it trying to kick it out of her feet. Savoie centers on the turnover. It goes onto the stick and out. Here comes Asbridge. She'll chip it up ahead. Power. She'll give chase. That'll take away the icing as it's touched up by Fitzpatrick up the far side wall for Savoie. Savoie through the neutral zone. It's poked off of her stick. McFadden will regroup it. Just inside of her blue line. She spins away from pressure. Trying to toe drag off the skate. And that'll be sent back in just over the blue line. Offside. Parsons went in there ahead of the puck, and that'll stop play for an offside. An impressive tournament here for the Rocket. They opened yesterday with back-to-back shutouts. Start off the tournament from Redmond and Furnett, I believe, yesterday. As it's Lapierre now, off a skate. A lot of games here in a weekend. They all kind of get mashed together. This is the third of three here. My first was at 8 a.m. this morning, so stick with me here. So you've been with me for my morning coffee, and now you're here for the nightcap. As it's worked back, Payne through the neutral zone. She chips it back ahead. Plurd trying to get it in, goes off a skate. Back the other way, Parsons gets center. She'll chip it in and change. As some pressure from Dowling. Haley Dowling in there on the forecheck. Jodry will hop off the bench and get in there. Good speed by Jodry. Forces the loose puck, but Boutlier gathers it. Works it for Cormier. Cormier up ahead. Right on the stick of Plurd, who had slashed over from the far side. Plurd will dump in. Force Harlan to make a play. And pinch Harlan off on the wall. That'll be Driscoll in there. Good job in supporting her defenseman. As here's Driscoll through the neutral zone. Good speed. And the captain for the Capitals, and Ella Driscoll, as Cormier now has it on the far side. She'll chip it up through the neutral zone, off a couple skates, and chip back. Here's Driscoll. She'll gather some speed in her own zone. Elaine pressuring her. Elaine's going to take the shorter route and force Driscoll to ice the puck, and that'll be a whistle and an icing call charge to the Capitals. Driscoll for the defensive zone draw. That'll be Colpitts in there on the face-off for the Rocket. Driscoll wins that cleanly. Puck chipped off the glass, off the skate of Poirier and into the neutral zone. Here's a step down the far side. Here's Beaton, going to show display. She goes down, crashes into Redmond. And a delayed call coming up. Great display of speed there by Beaton. And it'll be a tripping call, not a penalty shot, as I know the cameraman next to me was hoping for one. Arsenault will head to the box. 2 minutes for tripping will be the call. And the Capitals still awaiting their first shot of the game. Head to the power play to try to tie it up at 1. Driscoll, offensive zone draw. Low scoring affair for the Capitals so far this year. 69 goals for and only 48 against. As the Rockets, as Jodry crashes in, a little pushing and shoving going on there. The Capitals now have their first shot on net. As I was saying, the Rocket come in with 124 goals for and 51 against. So a couple less goals against for the Capitals, but a lot more for the Rockets in the goals for category. Almost 100 or so more, or sorry, no, about 70 or so more. My apologies to the Capitals. As close scoring games, I've done a couple. They've been very close and intense, tight games, and makes for a great last game of a Saturday night in a long showcase day. It's down low. Here's Jodry in the corner, taking her time. She'll look over her options up the wall. Here's O'Dane, sorry. Works for Payne. Shot on, blocked in the slot. Driving down was O'Dane. That's cycled for Kearney. On the end wall, Driscoll will help out. She tries to kick it up to her stick, but that goes just past Driscoll, but she uses her skates to catch up to that puck. Now she'll use them to work it in. She gets that puck poked off of her stick. Good net front presence by the Capitals here as that puck poked out into the neutral zone. Here's Kearney down the far side. Kearney, she'll draw pass. That'll be Power to the slot. She'll work it over the dot, drop it back. Now, here at the point, taking her time is Wilkie. Back for Payne, or Prince on the half wall. Wilkie, shot just wide past the glove side. 2 shots now, as the shot is now cut down to half. 25 seconds remaining on the power play. Here's McHenry. Eleanor McHenry back for Wilkie. Over here for Prince. Sarah Prince gets a little touch pass. She'll let the shot go. That goes just wide past the glove, and that clearing attempt off the glass gets sent all the way down for Wilkie to have to go retreat that in her own zone. Catherine Wilkie working up the far side for McHenry. Up for Beaton, who drew the penalty. Now we'll turn that over in the neutral zone. Good job by Asbridge to get back. She'll get her feet moving. Asbridge trying to cut to the middle. Savoie pressuring her. Stick up in the arm, trying to get it out there as Savoie. Now back here's Daniel with a nice move. Daniel to the net, and it rolled off of her backhand into the half wall. 2-on-3 battle as the Rocket try to work it out. McHenry chipping it up ahead for Asbridge. That's Poirier. Nice little spin move there to alleviate some pressure. She kicks it over here. Savoie trying to center, goes off a stick. Kearney chipping it back to the point and out. Daniel, move at the blue line, can't get it through the skates of O'Dane, who controls it now just inside of her blue line. Pressure by Savoie and forced back even further. Back for O'Dane is a nice outlet pass there, but a good forecheck here by the Rocket in the early going, creating havoc for the Capitals. Early goings of this game. Rockets lead by 1 on a snipe from Lola Bootlier. She continues. A great tournament here as she's now on the ice. McFadden will chip it around. The call up Chloe Waugh out there. As that puck gets sent in, that'll be the call up for the Capitals. In April Mumberket. Longtime coach Peter Mumberket, as that is his daughter out there. So I remember helping Peter coach his oldest son when he was younger, and now seeing April getting the call up here from the U15 age group is getting some information. She's only in grade 9, so she's an underage. So I believe her and Annabelle Daniel, born 2011, so an underage year for both of them. And a few underage players on the Rocket squad, actually. And only one on the Greenfoot Capitals in Sydney Power, the 2011 born. So a couple of young players who have some bright futures ahead of them for sure, as Mumberket peels off for the change as they get that puck out. Here's Plourde working it up ahead. Dowling chipping it up. Parsons, far side, over the blue line. She'll leave it there for Dowling. Haley Dowling down the wall. She'll let a shot go on net, and Redmond was up for the task. Dowling towards the net and poked away. That's another shot on net. So now we're all tied up here, 4 shots apiece. Here in the opening frame, the lead still in favor of the Rockets. Here's a turnover just inside the blue line. Plourde just couldn't get it. The puck caught up to her as she sat behind her just for a second too long as the Capitals get it back. LaPierre works it D to D here for Wilkie, who goes up the wall. Prince. Arsenault stepped up on her as Cormier back in the neutral zone. Trying to get to it was Prince. Great job there by Rodier. Separate puck from body and not take a penalty. Here's Kolpitz with a nice move. Kolpitz dishing it wide to Rodier, who can't get it back as Walter and Kolpitz exchange cross checks in front of the net. Walter and Kolpitz collide in the corner. Looks for a little bit of battle going on here. Good compete back and forth here, almost like a playoff style type game. 2 highly ranked teams battling it out here after the Christmas break. Bootlier is forced to back off as McHenry will chip it around her. Just inside the blue line now here, Eleanor McHenry will pressure Poirier, who kicks it over to the far side. Trying to center, goes off a stick, and back here are the Capitals. Will chip it all the way down. That was LaPierre. No icing, not enough weight on it, so a nice job there. Good draw on that pass, or a dump in, I guess you could say, as Payne up at center. LaPierre, got to be careful there as it's kicked out wide, now centered here for Kearney. Trying to work it in. It's turned over. Savoie back to the way over the blue line. Good active stick by Lapierre, but Savoie will continue with it and cycle it down low. And behind the net, now centered out in front. Daniel tried to one-time that, but couldn't get it as Cormier had set her up beautifully. Asbridge, half wall, takes her time. She'll try to chip it up off the wall. Not out, though, is stepping up. Chloe Waugh, the call-up, holds the line, but it goes into the bench of the Capitals to stop play. Face-off will go inside the zone. O'Dane on the defensive zone draw will face off here against Lauren Ward for the Rockets. It's one back, Wilkie, up the wall to Waugh. She'll work it D for Fitzpatrick, who lets a shot go, tipped and scores! Fitzpatrick makes it 2-0, and the Rockets up 2 here with 7:47 remaining in the opening period on a point shot. I think it must have went off the body of Harlan in front because Fitzpatrick went first. It was tipped for sure over the glove of Delaney. I think it might have went off of the defenseman in front in number 11, Ellie Harlan. So an unfortunate bounce there for the Capitals. A fortunate one for the Rocket as they're up now here by 2. Inside the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Thanks for tuning in once again. This is live on High Button Sports. The Rocket with a 2-0 lead just over halfway through the opening frame. That pass chipped up and over. O'Dane will pressure Cormier, trying to get Cormier to make a mistake. Good pressure there by O'Dane. Will turn it over. Power had it knocked off of her stick. She gets it back, though. Great job on the second effort by Sydney Power. Into the slot, and a great back check there. Plourde, and another great back check. Power and Plourde just going back and forth here on great back checks and turning the puck over in the Rocket zone. Cormier, stretch pass onto the stick of Ward. She'll work it over the blue line. Here's Lauren Ward on her backhand. Ward centers, that gets poked away and behind the net. Ward to Boutlier, who opened the scoring for the Rocket. Works it DD for the captain, who lets a shot go. Delaney, stick save. Battle in front of the net continuing as that'll be centered here. Now a one-on-one opportunity. Poirier, good active stick, trying to chip it around her was Parsons. Can't do so. Great job by Poirier. She'll spin back in her own zone for Boutlier now. Back for Poirier. Rodier doesn't handle the bouncing puck and chip back in. Poirier collects it and settles things down. Over for Boutlier. Centers for Elaine. Zoe Elaine had a great game earlier, noticeable on both ends of the ice. As she has it down low behind the goal line. Zoe Elaine. Drop pass for Colpitts. Trying to work it back here. Fitzpatrick, who made it 2-0. So 2 goals from defensemen for the Rocket. 2-on-1 opportunity. Elaine back checking. Great job there to break that up. Boutlier offensively and defensively doing it here once again tonight. Good job. That was Rodier making a play from her knees as she was falling. Elaine gets center, dumps it in and changes. Harlan up the wall. Good read though as that puck centered. And stepping in off the point, I believe, was Fitzpatrick. Here's Driscoll with speed. Ella Driscoll moves to the outside. Driscoll centers, doesn't connect cleanly, and she'll have to battle for it on the end wall. Picked up by McFadden, who centers for Savoie up through the neutral zone. Savoie over the line. She'll work it wide. Great stick by Wilkie to knock it into the corner. Prince in there trying to help out. Centering pass, McFadden in her feet, kicks it in behind the goal line as she battles now for it. Driscoll up the wall. Waugh will step in, and it gets knocked past her into the neutral zone. Fitzpatrick. Cross-ice pass. That puck will be offside, I think. So an offside call there. Be charged to the Rocket. Face-off will come in front of their bench because that's where the pass came from. Kearney battles here on the draw. Ward wins it. Back over to the far side for Poirier, who will log a lot of minutes for the Rocket. Back for Plourde. Tried to make a move, but it's turned over. Here's Kearney down the far side. Kearney, she stops up and waits for some extra help. Shot, Redmond. Big glove save there by her. Battle continuing on the half wall is pretty much a 3-on-3 in there as Mumbercat steps in from the point. Poirier comes out with it. D to D, Arsenault quickly up the far side, out of the reach of everyone, all the way down. Going to be an icing charged here. As Plourde will be pulled back over the bench. Audier tried to sneak on, but the linesman caught that change. Puck battled for, one back by the Rocket. That stretch pass all the way past Lapierre. Not enough for icing. She'll have to go in behind, pressured by Plourde. Lapierre trying to reverse it. Onto the stick of Ward, who lets a shot go, and she scores! Lauren Ward on the turnover makes it 3-0 for the Rockets here on this Saturday night matchup. Lauren Ward pressuring and turning the puck over. Good to give the assist to Plourde as she did all the work to get it free for Ward. Ward picked it up, worked it out front by herself, and got it elevated up over the glove once again in Delaney, and it's a 3-0 lead. Rockets up over the Caps. Turnover, back the other way, Elaine off the draw, lets a shot go, rebound loose in front. Rodger trying to bang it home, can't do so. Delaney with a big pad save there, trying to keep her team in it now. Boutlier down the wall, poked through her skates, and now the Caps down the far side, one-on-one. Cormier pressures as she goes down, and so does Ashbridge. The two number 7s battling for the puck as it's reversed. Here's Elaine. Zoe Elaine chipping it up through the neutral zone. Here's Kolpitz, 1-on-2. Boutlier's going to try to catch up to the play. She's going to get back now as the defenseman. Boutlier up at the blue line. She'll get the pass and work it over the blue line. Doing it both ways, centering for Daniel. Toe drag shot, couldn't let it go. Boutlier with the rebound. Sends it high. Elaine in the corner. Back for Cormier. She'll walk. Shot sent wide past the glove. And pad of Delaney. Here's Daniel. She'll walk it over. Top of the circles. Dish for Cormier as that shot's blocked. Wilkie gets to it. She'll stop up behind her own net. She's pressured by two Rockets. She'll find a way to get it over there, but Fitzpatrick steps in from the point and works it down for Daniel. Daniel gets taken down. Play continues. That puck rimmed around. Waugh stepping in from the point. She pinches it down into the corner for McFadden. Over to the far side, here's Parsons with some time. Chipped up to the point. Fitzpatrick gloves it down as that's now worked out and chipped in. Good job there to stick with it and make sure no more damage is done. That was Kelly. Stretch pass up ahead for Cormier at her reach, and an icing charge once again to the Rocket. Puck battle here on the wall, trying to work it up. Daniel can't get it. Driscoll centers, doesn't connect cleanly with Prince. Driscoll on the far side now in the neutral zone, gathers it up, works it back here for Mumbercat, who chips it up the wall. Turned over though is right back the other way. Here comes Annabelle Daniel down the wing. Daniel's toe drag shot blocked off by the Capitals. Chaudhry gets center and dumps it in. She'll now peel off for the change. As a whole 5 new sets of skates out there for the Caps, as here's Ward over the line, dropping it off, trying to let a toe drag go. Now she'll let the shot go. That goes wide though. Here's Mumbercat. Or sorry, that's Marley Payne taking out Ward, who get now up to her feet and works it back to Arsenault. Back for Ward. Down low, trying to connect with Savoie. Payne pressuring her. Back for Ward, up to the point, Arsenault. Let's a shot go. That's blocked by McHenry. Over to the far side. Trying to center, and it goes off the skate, and back here come the Capitals. With numbers. Good job by Savoie to make it evened up As nice chip play there. Here's Beaton. Centers and a chance for McHenry backdoor. Redmond with a big save there as McHenry had an opportunity late in the opening period. Inside a minute now remaining in the first. Savoie shot steered away by Delaney. Wilkie makes a move up through the middle of the ice. She'll wheel it up 1-on-2 through the neutral zone. She'll chip through the body, and great job there to not take a penalty. It was Poirier. Through the middle, here's Ward. Up ahead, Savoie gets enough on it to take away the icing as she'll peel off for a change. Here's Harlan. Up for Power, chipping it into the neutral zone. Boutlier gets it, and she'll send it across ice. 20 seconds remaining, opening period. Cormier stepping up and sending it in. Elaine will pressure Harlan. Harlan chipping it up the wall as that puck just held in on side towards Delaney. Delaney's going to push into the corner, keep things going, keep the clock running as they look to escape this first period just down by 3, and they will. So after the first period of play, the score 3-0 for the Rockets. Goals coming from Lola Boutlier, Abby Fitzpatrick, and Lauren Ward will be back here for the second period of play after this short intermission. And welcome back here for a second period of action between the Rockets and the Capitals. The Rockets coming into the second period, 3-0 lead here as they look to extend. The Caps look to battle back and get this lead a little bit tighter here as a little bit of a delay because of the wet and sticky ice. As you saw an example of it there, got about a foot over the red line and went down and complete stop. So the girls will have to be careful of that. Got to be making sure they're getting the puck out of the zone and into the offensive zone. Can't be letting pucks stop on you. And if they do, you got to stop on them. Seems to be a theme here inside the Grand Harvey this weekend, so maybe the rink more so used to having a little more time to sit and let dry, as the Stu Tommies normally have a little bit more of a 20-minute intermission instead of just the flood, and they have a little bit of time for the ice to set and dry and not be so sticky, I guess, out there. So maybe the rink will have to cool off. Hopefully not. It's cold enough outside as it is here. Feels like it's minus 25 out there. As nice play there by the call-up Waugh. Here's a chance. Plord with a move, and that shot just wide. Plord in tight, made a last-minute move around the defenseman, but the shot went wide, as that'll be chipped back into the neutral zone. Waugh, glove to stick again to Plord. She tried to get it in. Richard battling there with her. LaPierre trying to poke it free. 4-on-2. McHenry as well as Beaton and Kearney in there trying to get that puck out. That puck chipped to the far side. Over the red line and sent right back in off the end wall. McHenry to it first. She gets hard crunch there. She bounces right up, but that was a awkward looking hit. It looks like it's gonna be 2 for body contact. And she went into the boards a little bit awkwardly, but she bounced right back up and smile on her face. She's all right, so she heads off to the bench. Fresh skaters out for the start of the power play here for the Rocket is over in the penalty box. Is actually pretty funny. The culprit, Fitzpatrick, went to the wrong box, so she had to sneak over between the timekeepers and over to the other box into the right side there. As here's Kearney at the point. They look to set up the power play. Kearney will cycle that down in low. Good forecheck there. Puck sticking to the ice. Payne fakes a slap shot here for Driscoll. She'll walk it over top. Like I said, got to be careful because of that sticky ice. Can't let anything, especially up high, stick on you. Right, just like that as it stopped up on O'Dane. Now back here, Payne trying to let a one-timer go. Can't get all of it. Chipping that puck into the neutral zone was Elaine. Here's Rodyer trying to chip it in. Kearney with a good job there. Kearney with a little extra shove for Rodyer and an offside call charged to the Rockets. Face-off will come right outside the Capital zone in front of the bench of the Rockets, who look to kill off the next minute and 20 or so of PK time. The penalty kill coming into this game for the Rockets currently sitting at 91%, so an impressive stat there. And as the power play for the Caps sitting at 7%, they look to try to up that percentage here in the second half of the season. Wilkie with a shot, tip on, rebound. Prince gathers it in the corner. Far side for Power. As mentioned earlier, Power, one of the only 2011 borns on the Capitals. Is that puck clearing attempt? Wilkie holds it. Great job in the effort there by Wilkie. Beaten on the half wall, loses control. Wilkie, great hold there on the far side. She works it here for McHenry, kind of handcuffed her in her feet. McHenry, nice play. She'll work it across here for Prince, who let a shot go off the outside of the post into the corner. Arsenault and Prince battle. Prince gets to it, trying to work it up. Prince trying to make sure she doesn't glove past that is that pass. Now worked up here inside the neutral zone. Nice little fake move there. Mumbercat will dump it off the end wall, and that'll create a chase here in the corner. Poirier pressured by Power. Power turns it over. O'Dane off the bench. There's a shot goal blocker saved by Redmond. Arsenault stopping up, moves it for Poirier, who will chip it up the wall as Cormier touches it there for Colpitts at center, who will get blue and dump it in and peel off for the change. Cormier gets to it first. She'll cycle down low, but Kearney trying to break that up. Centering pass, that goes off the skate of Daniel and over to the half wall. Fitzpatrick, who took the penalty, now out of the box, back to 5-on-5. It's O'Dane trying to chip it around Daniel. She does. Kearney now trying to chip it in. Good job on the back check there, Fitzpatrick. McFadden. She'll work it D-to-D here for Waugh, who will chip it up the boards for Daniel off of her stick on the backhand. Ashbridge chipping it up here. McFadden trying to work it around. Daniel, good job getting back there. She'll try to chip and chase up for herself. Payne. She'll chip it in. Good pressure here by the Caps. Parsons turns it over. Kelly to the point. Wilkie trying to poke it back down. Got to be careful as she was pressured by Daniel. Trying to center. Daniel pushed out of space there. Parsons gets a stick on it. Not enough for icing. Waugh over to the far side. She'll chip it off the official as the official again in the way there. Gets it off of her skate. And that'll be sent back in. Here's Cormier. Back for Waugh in front of the net. Got to be careful. Last lady back. Here's Chloe Waugh. The call up for the Rockets. Spinning it around here for Cormier. That'll be chipped up the wall. Richard centers. Picked off though. Good stick by Wilkie, who's been noticeable out there here so far. Catherine Wilkie with a great job here. About 25 minutes into this 60-minute affair. Cormier in the neutral zone. Getting some pressure from Dowling. She'll work it over here for Boutlier in front of the net. Boutlier back for Cormier. Up ahead was intended, I think, for Ward, but out of her reach. And now back here come the Capitals. Prince off the bench trying to work it towards the net. Cormier takes that away and denies it back up the wall. Here's Lapierre back in her own zone. Lapierre off the end wall for Payne. Over to the far side, Payne trying to chip it out. Finds Driscoll in the neutral zone. Driscoll can't get around Boutlier, though, on the far wall. As now that's sent in by Jodry. Arsenault to it first. Turnover, shot, rebound. Driscoll there on the doorstep. Couldn't get it elevated high enough past Redmond. And a big save there for Redmond to keep her team up by 3. So action-packed game here so far as both teams with their fair share of chances. The shots tied up at 11, but the Rockets have the upper hand on the goal-scoring side of things. They have found the way to find the back of the net 3 separate times from 3 separate players. 2 defensemen actually contributing to the first 2 goals of the game in Boutlier and Fitzpatrick, and the last goal coming off the stick of Lauren Warden. A great forecheck by the Rocket. Here's Elaine over the blue line. She'll drop. Driscoll read that, but can't chip it around Rodier, who will cycle it back down here for Elaine. A little give and go, and a shot goes into the corner. Picked up now on the half wall. Beaton has some pressure on her. She looks to try to get things moving up north. Beaton has shown her speed, and now she's going to try to show it off again here, but a good stick there by Arsenault will take that away. Beaton battles for it. Elaine chipping it up ahead. Rodier one-on-one, poked off of her stick. And back up past Waugh, who was changing. That'll take away the icing. Kearney in there on the forecheck. Poirier spins it back here. Waugh, cross-ice pass. Colpitts trying to get to it as Mumbercat steps up. Great job there by April Mumbercat. The call up for the Capitals. Daniel on the far side, loses it. Here's O'Dane trying to work it towards the net. Great job by Waugh. Up the wall, though, it's turned over. Here's McHenry, shot glove save by Redmond once again. Morgan Redmond showing off the leather here inside of her glove. That'll be held on to for a whistle. Face off to her glove hand side. down low, taking her options. O'Dane trying to work it to the net. Can't do so. O'Dane down low. Pressured by two of the Rockets players as McFadden ends up with the puck now through the neutral zone. Thea McFadden will cut back. Waugh up the wall for Daniel, who's bumped there by Power on the dump in. As that goes in behind Delaney. Walter, nice smart play there, not to go D as the pressure had kind of cheated that way, and that puck up into the bench, and that'll stop play. Face-off's gonna stay inside of the zone. Ward, offensive zone draw. One back though by the Caps. Beaton's gonna stretch up through the middle, trying to beat Boutlier to it, but Boutlier will get to it first. Beaton just gonna get that extra step around the great speed of the defenseman. Boutlier once again, as I said it all tournament, having a great tournament. She had a 2-goal game. I think she even picked up an assist in that game as well. Cormier off the glass on a weird bounce in front, and Delaney had to be up for the task as the stanchion kicked that puck out of the rim down the wall, or I guess off the glass, not really off the wall. Kicked it right out in front, and a chance there. Having to be sharp was Delaney. Face off to her blocker side. Dowling wins it back for the Caps. Payne takes her time. She works up here. Parsons, high flip. Kelly doesn't touch it first. Cormier, that'll take away the high stick. Savoie trying to chip it in. Payne doesn't get it. Now it'll be rimmed around here for Parsons. Pressured by Ward. Parsons chipping it up, but not out. Boutlier walks it in, works it over. Cormier, shot, blocked in front into the feet. Ward lets another shot go, and Delaney blockers that away. Dowling chipping it up into the neutral zone, pressuring Boutlier on the far side. Here's a turnover, but goes onto the stick and an offside call. Charge to the Capitals. I believe it was offside. I think so. So face off just outside the Rockets zone. Driscoll snaps it back. Mumbercat, nice little smart play. Looked across and hooked it back up. Here's Jodry centering off the skate of Poirier into the corner once again. Driscoll trying to work it back to the point, but that'll be turned over. Elaine centering pass. Here's Rodier. She'll dump that puck in and give chase. Walter back for it first. She'll reverse it, but Elaine read that and got to it first, chipping it up to the point. Almost between a rock and a hard place there was Arsenault trying to decide if she wanted to pinch in or go back. She kind of just froze, and luckily for her, puck stays in her feet now as that puck battled for on the far wall. Now out into the neutral zone. Elaine works it back here for Poirier. She's going to walk right up the middle of the ice. Now down the to the short side wall and cycle it in. Rodier trying to get to it. Colpitt's in there as well as Elaine now with it. All three forwards for the Rockets doing their part on the forecheck here, trying to create havoc and turn pucks over as they do once again. Poirier, nice toe drag there. She works it through, shot on, a pad save by Delaney. What a move, a toe drag through the feet of Prince. Let the shot go, but couldn't beat the pad of Delaney. Here's Mumbercat up the wall for Jodry, who will chip it up into the neutral zone. Arsenault working it D. Waugh up here for Cormier over the blue line. Cormier for Daniel. Daniel lets a shot go. Ward had trouble with the rebound, sat in front of her, and she'll hold on now. Walter making sure Ward got out of the crease area. So now the Rocket with a little bit of pressure here. Mid-ish way point in the second period. Power with the block. Waugh gonna have two ladies pressuring her. She tries to make an effort to get it out, but Asbridge in there, turns it over. Got to be careful of the skates there. Delayed call coming up here. We'll wait to see what for. So a penalty was... So the ref thought the lady was holding the puck, but she had no idea where it is. So a little bit of miscommunication there. Asbridge had it lost in her pants, and the official thought Asbridge had it like tucked kind of with her, and she was holding on to it. So it was a delayed call. So it was a delayed call where the ref decided, you know what, that's not worthy of a call there. She had no idea where the puck was. So tough to see the black puck with the black and green jerseys. A honest mistake, and she knew she made it, and she owned up to it, and no penalty was called or assessed, and play continuing here between these two squads. This third and fourth place team in the U18 Maritime Female Hockey League as they battle this one out on a Saturday night in Fredericton. O'Dane giving Cormier a shot. She took a little bit of a bump earlier in the shift, so maybe a little bit of frustration starting to amount here. A second game of the day, 4th and 2, so everyone knows what it's like to play in a tournament. Imagine playing in the third tournament here so far, probably for each team. I guess mini tournament, they play 6 games in a weekend, so that's a good stretch there. 3 games, 6 days, 2 games a day. It's a pretty good stretch, or it might even be just 5 games, but even though, still 5 games in 3 days is a good amount of hockey, full 20-minute period, stop time, so a lot of hockey for these girls right after the break too, so definitely skating off all the turkey that was consumed. Is that shot on? A delayed call coming up here as Richard was down on the ice. It's going to be a cross-checking call coming up here as looks like it's going to be Marley Payne who's going to go to the box. 2 minutes for cross-check, and the Rockets will head to the power play. So nothing like a Christmas break and then coming back and getting right into a showcase weekend. After all the stuffing and turkey and hams and hash browns, I guess. So mashed potatoes, gravy. And for the Theo the Greek next to me, a chicken souvlaki, he says. And a nice shot there by Daniels. What a shot there by the rookie Annabelle Daniels, showing off her display of skill on her shot-making ability, and she snaps it over the shoulder of Lauren Delaney. And Daniel, what a shot there, as we were talking about Theo's different kind of family traditions at Christmas time, turning into a wicked shot there. Daniel has the Rocket up here by 4 in the second period. As that was almost too quick. There's still climb on the clock, up on the clock for the penalty. It was still a minute and a half, so a very quick hitter on the power play there. So a great job there, and that'll send them right back to the power play. Wilkie's going to draw a call. She'll go to the box. Plord got upended, and a roughing call is going to be called. So a little bit interesting there. She only had one hand, but taking out the player will impeding her progress is a call. So the roughing call will be assessed to Wilkie, who I'm sure is not happy with herself, as a quick power play goal just moments ago by the Rockets to put them up by 4, as now they have another fresh 2 minutes on the clock. Colpitz down low. Now here's McFadden with it on the half wall. She'll stop up outside of the line. As you see over on the far side, the U18 Fredericton Capitals must have just wrapped up their practice, or just starting maybe. Looks like they're just wrapping up. See some rosy cheeks over there. As pregame went chat with one of my old coaches here Kevin Paul had a good little chat with him, his grandson getting the call up to practice with them here tonight. So got a quick chat with him before the game, but now we're back to this game as the Rockets on the power play. Here's McFadden. She'll drop it off. Bootleer walks it in, looking back door, and a great look as Fitzpatrick was sneaking in from the point. Bootleer works it back in here over the line, setting it up. Here's McFadden in the slot. She overskated the puck. She was looking up, but the puck stayed back here behind her. Cross-check in front, didn't get called. They'll play on. McFadden trying to toe drag around Jodry, and she'll dump it out. Good job there by Jodry to stick with it. All the way down, Redmond stops it up here for Poirier. Annabelle Daniel back. She'll swing over to the far side. The most recent goal scorer for the Rocket has the puck now through the neutral zone with speed. Daniel, great job there to control the puck. She works it back here for Poirier. She'll walk it over. Poirier for Daniel. She'll walk it in. Daniel shot high off the boards. High sticking, waved off as it goes all the way back down. Daniel in the neutral zone, pressured by Driscoll. As Driscoll trying to match the speed of Daniel here. Annabelle Daniel, the sister of Alexi Daniel, played in the Quebec Major, or I guess Quebec Maritime Major Junior Hockey League, now called, as they'll do it for the power play. Ward for Daniel to the middle. She goes down. That was a trip, but I think the refs maybe letting that one go as they just sent the Capitals down shorthanded twice back to back. So potentially Annabelle Daniel, you know, a little frustrated probably there, rightfully so. She was definitely tripped, but just letting the flow of the game continue here, trying to get through this one as it's already creeping up on 10 o'clock here. And we're still got another 4 minutes left here in the second period of play. 4-0 lead here for the Rocket. As that pass centered, here's Richard. Marissa Richard, she'll go 2-on-2. She'll drop the shoulder, cut to the net in front. Delaney holds on for a whistle. Savoie was there driving the net with her. As Richard showing her display of skill and speed there. She cut to the net and tried to stuff it up, but couldn't get it up and elevated. As face-off's gonna stay inside to the glove hand side, surprisingly, as the shot kind of, I guess, came from the blocker side more so, as that was where Richard came down from. As the puck worked back to the point area, Savoie was covering. She'll work it back in down low. Zoe Savoie getting pressure as that'll be turned over here. Zoe Lane helping out Zoe Savoie, so the two Zoes out there. Zoe squared out there as the Caps kind of wanted a penalty there. No call on the play. Puck loose. Kearney trying to push it out and whistle gone. Stick in the tuck, between the tuck holder, I guess, or the blade holder there. So Kearney was trying to get her stick back but couldn't. Got to be careful there. You don't want to wrench someone's ankle when the stick's in there. If you twist the wrong way, it could really injure a player, but you just got to take your time and just work the stick out with patience. And I know it's the odd time I've seen a puck actually get stuck in the tuck of the skate. So you never know when you see some weird things for sure. Obviously you see the skate blade and stuff fall out, but for a puck to fit in there perfectly, it had to bounce the perfect time and get in there just perfect to kind of stay in there, especially a guy skidding around with it. Now here's a chance. Dowling with Parsons. Dowling shot, rebound. Picked up by Rodier on the back check. She'll try to chip it into the neutral zone. She does. Great job, though, by Kelly to get it and dump it right back in. 2 minutes and 15 seconds here remaining in the second period. The Caps trailing by 4 to the Rocket, who look to keep this lead entering the third. Stepping up, good read there by Payne. She'll dump it right back in. As mentioned before, the games between the Caps and their opponents this year have been very close and low scoring. This one seeming to creep a little bit out of out of their comfort zone here, up to 4 goals now here, so they'll look to try to bounce back here, get a late one, and build up some momentum heading into that third and final period of regulation here on Saturday night action. I know they probably got an early game here tomorrow. I know all the teams, once again, are playing again tomorrow in their 5th game of the weekend, as this had started Friday morning, I guess. Friday morning around, or afternoon, I guess I should say. Here's a chance trying to bury it. Jodry had an opportunity. Here's Driscoll. She'll walk it out of the corner. Driscoll shot, and she was looking upstairs, but a blocker saved by Redmond. Keeps it 4-0. Wilkie blast from the point, tipped wide. Driscoll, as the mentality maybe here for the Capitals has changed on this power play. Maybe just trying to get as many pucks towards the net and on Redmond as they can and create as much havoc as it gets cycled down low. Driscoll turns it over. Great job by the captain, Ella Driscoll. Desperation time here in the late stages of the second period, trying to get her team's energy up here. Heading into the third. Power in behind the net, trying to spin it out front. Here's O'Dane in front. Can't get it up, and now back the other way. Here's Plourde. Down the wall, Plourde with a nice move. Shot, that goes wide past the glove. Half a minute remaining. O'Dane up ahead. Ashbridge chipping it in. She gets taken out, and that'll draw a call. And a late power play upcoming here with 15 seconds remaining in the period, or 14.5 seconds remaining in the period. And a late power play, which will carry over if they can't capitalize it late here in the period. But the Capitals and the Rocket, definitely some physicality is a little bit noticeable. Daniel will head off for the change. So Daniel will be forced to come back on. So 14.5, they need a quick hitter here off the draw. O'Dane wins it for Power. Smart play not to try to feed anything across the ice. Power down low. O'Dane buried from behind by Bootlier. She goes in awkwardly. We'll wait to hear the call and a body con check and call there. She went in a little bit awkwardly, that awkward zone with 6.2 seconds, a 5-on-3 that will likely carry over into the third period of play. Body contact the call. Poirier going to be out there with McFadden and Cormier. Driscoll had it knocked away from her off the draw, and that should just about do it here for the second period of play. So after 2, the Moncton Rocket lead the Greenfoot Capitals by a score of 4-0. We'll be back here for third period of action on High Button Sports after this short intermission. welcome back here for the third period of play between the Capitals and the Rocket. Is 5-on-3 carrying over into the third period. The Capitals looking to build some momentum early on in the period. They trail by 4. Driscoll, they'll set up in a kind of a 1-2-1 or a 2-2-1, I guess you'd kind of say. One person net front, puck sticking. We had a little delay here, so really got to be careful as the puck yet to leave the corner. As that puck now cleared up in the air and all the way just down to the ring head line as Kearney now. So a 2-2-1 kind of setup here for the Capitals. Here to start off the power play. Driscoll picks it up and works it over the line. Ella Driscoll looking over some options. She'll drop it back. Here's a shot by Joddery right on and held on to by Redmond. Face off will go to the blocker side as new power play unit out there for the Capitals. Here is Wilkie. Takes her time, works it back down low. That corner really sticky. Seeming to be the last swipe going down this side here. So gotta be careful on this close short side. Here's Wilkie now. She'll walk to the middle, dishing it back down. Low for Beaton. Cross ice. Shot, glove save. Redmond holds on, no rebound. 20 seconds remaining in the first penalty. And looks like it is going to be 28 seconds remaining. As it's worked D to D, here's Wilkie. It's a little bit of a different approach. At the end of last period, they seem to be firing everything towards the net. Now spreading things out a little bit here. So an interesting switch up here. Wilkie, one-timered on, tipped on. Redmond up for the task and holds on as Waugh buries Beaton in behind the net. 1 second remaining on the first penalty, 9 on the second one. Harlan will step over the boards, and she was let know that just be careful of the box here. 2 coming out within the next 10 seconds. As that might not have been the smartest play right in the box. Harlan had to judge between going back or going in as players coming to the box right at the time the puck worked right back to him. Got to be close. There is Redmond out to play the puck. She'll stop it up for Arsenault. Nice play there by Arsenault to work it over to the far side. Ashbridge will pressure, but worked up here for Savoie. Into the neutral zone. Savoie down the far side. She'll push that puck down low. On the one hand, and a little bit of collision there. Savoie now back up to her feet. Harlan up here for Ashbridge. The wet ice down in that end now going to be a factor here. As that slowed that puck down, didn't allow it out this short side. Beaton trying to work it out the other side now. As Roger and Beaton trying to kick it out. Both the feet trying to work it up here to the point. Now Cormier shot sent wide. In behind the net, Savoie has it poked away from her. Here's Harlan with it. She'll chip it up here for Ashbridge, who went to stick handle, and it actually went off her backhand. And now Ashbridge picking up the loose puck one-on-one. Beatrice Ashbridge lets a shot go. It's blocked by Waugh and steered into the corner. Here's Rodnier up to the point. Good job there by Mumberket to feed Driscoll, who got caught up there with the ringette line, and the ringette line got the better of Driscoll as she went back to her backside as the puck was intended for her. Battle on the half wall. Cormier around for Waugh. To Elaine on the far side wall. She'll center. Doesn't connect though, as here's Driscoll now off the skate and back up through the other way. Driscoll cutting to the middle. O'Dane trying to follow it up. Driscoll sticking with it. Driscoll in and can't get a shot away as she was in tight and alone, but couldn't get the handle on the puck. Richard touched it before center. It's going to be a delayed icing call. Charge to the Rocket once again. A face-off all the way back down into the Rocket zone here to the glove hand side of Redmond. Moncton Rockets sitting in third place currently in the league as they've had a few close games. I know these teams have battled it out a few times prior to this, has had a couple good ones. This one seems a little uncharacteristic, so to say, as for the Capitals, trailing here by 4. Their games have been all really tight, close scoring games. This one just kind of maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone, trying to build their way back up here. LaPierre down low. That's mishandled. And work back up into the neutral zone where that'll be sent right back in by LaPierre. Up ahead, Pollard, touch pass, doesn't connect, and Kelly has it now through the neutral zone. She'll gather up some speed. She'll move it up ahead where Parsons stops up and cycles it in behind. Dowling looking to give chase. As Boutlier, nice play around one and now around another. She'll continue it over the blue line where she drops it there for Ward, as Ward will play it down the wall. Lauren Ward has the third goal of the game. Plurd, who actually, the unofficial assist on the goal, she did all the work to get it out to her. Lauren Ward capitalizing on the great work from Plurd. As Driscoll tried to get it towards the net, goes off the skate. Here's a chance. Driscoll 3-on-2, works it down low, can't connect cleanly with Jodry. Jodry pressured by the captain Poirier, who works it up for Daniel, who kicks it over for Cormier to the far side. Stepping up though, there was Walter. Worked around her. Here's McFadden with Daniel. McFadden in tight to her backhand pad save by Delaney. Big save there. Really can't afford to go down by another one here with 14:20 remaining in the period. In the third and final period of regulation, a delayed call coming up here, and an icing will be charged to the Capitals. Face off the glove hand side of Delaney, who had just had a big save there. Mumberket, great job there to pinch a lane off on the wall. Kearney has it now on the wall. Colpitz has her pinned up. Elaine comes out with the puck to Arsenault at the point, who will dish it right back down just out of the reach of Elaine, where Mumberket collects it, and she'll rim it around to the short side. Colpitz and McHenry went in the boards a little awkwardly, but here's Kearney with it, 2-on-2. Kearney lost in her feet. She collects it down low. Kearney trying to work it out front. Left it there for Beaton, who will spin away from pressure and cycle it in below for number 88, Ashlyn Kearney. Prince on the forecheck. Kearney in there as well. Colpitz, as that puck goes up, as that was a kind of a little bit of a nifty play there. Prince gets taken down, no call on that play, so the whistle's gone away here for the third period, and we're going to play on. Savoie down the far side wall. And back to the point, out just outside. Ward touched it as her skate was inside, and going to be an offside charged here to the Rocket. Face off just outside of the Capitals zone. Richard trying to work it in now. It'll be sent in though by Chloe Waugh. Boutlier at the point, pressured by Driscoll off the skate. Can't get it going back though, past the defenseman, and sent right back in by Marissa Richard. Payne trying to work it up the wall. Driscoll picks it up and circles back. She'll kick it wide. Driscoll runs into Richard, stood her up. Here's a 2-on-2. Prince centers. Driscoll trying to follow it up. I could hear her calling for it from up here. She's going to have to get back now. Jodry Turns it over down low. Plurden on the forecheck. Good stick there by Driscoll. She'll get it to Jodry. Clears it up into the neutral zone, and they'll head off for a change now. Richard over the blue line. Toe drag around one. Richard to her backhand kick at the shot away. Fitzpatrick in there following it up. The defenseman stepping into the action. Here's Daniel at the point. Shot tipped high as that puck got wrapped up and over the top of the net and off the glass. Back here, Daniel, nice little chip play here for McFadden. Shot, posted in, and she scores. Thea McFadden with an absolute snipe past the blocker of Delaney, and the Capitals trail now by 5. Here is Thea McFadden capitalizes on a nice feed from Annabelle Daniel. As they seem overjoyed, so maybe a monkey off the back there for number 81. So Daniel with back-to-back points on the 2 goals. She had a goal and now an assist, so she's had a couple tallies here tonight, keeping her up in the race for the top point getter in the entire league. She has the puck now. Chipping it up for McFadden, who will cut back, turn it over. Here's O'Dane as they trail by 5. Rockets trying to work it out into the slot. Ashbridge had it poked away. She got ran over by Poirier after the fact. Ashbridge over to the far side, chipped up here for Power. She'll chip that ahead for O'Dane. And in here's Arsenault. Back for Daniel. Daniel trying to chip it out, kicking it out. Now here's a chance for Power, 1-on-3. Sydney Power into the corner, trying to center. As that goes off the skate, now back here's Ashbridge that picks up the loose puck in the corner. Pressured by Arsenault. Left it there for Cormier, who gave a little shot there for Dowling, who will take a number and skate back. Here's the Rocket back the other way. That was Cormier. Heads up, Parsons will. And they really are just going to let them play here. That could have been another tripping call charged. So Dowling now trying to chip it out, can't do so. Face off, or puck sent back down low by as LaPierre works it D to D for Payne, who touches it there for Dowling. Dowling chipping it over to the side there for Parsons, who centers up and over everyone. Nice little flick play there, getting used more and more commonly throughout hockey for sure. Savoie over the line, looking for an option. On her forehand, centers in front, big pad save. Delaney kicks 2 away. Shot still 19-19 now. As Cormier lets a shot go, that gets tipped. That almost had a seeing eye shot there, just past the glove. And into the far side corner by the Montana sign as that's battled for. Over there. Here's Parsons. Leaves it for Harlan, who chips it down. It'll be a no icing call on the play there, as it could have been touched by Cormier, says the official. Harlan up ahead for Kearney over the blue line. Kearney cuts to the middle, lets a shot go. That's blocked by Waugh. McHenry pressured there by Chloe Waugh, who leaves it for Kearney, who now turned over. Here's Ward, Lauren Ward. Good back check there by beating the 2 number 8s. On a nice little battle there through the neutral zone. Now here's 88 with it, and Ashton Kearney over the line. Shot blocked there by Boutlier. Picked up and worked up by Ward for Plourde. Plourde 1-on-1, takes a shot. Blocker saved by Delaney. Down low, Plourde picks up the loose puck. Centers just in behind Lauren Ward, the intended target, up to Fitzpatrick, who will cycle it back down low for Richard. Overskates that puck. Here's Walter pinning it on the end wall. Kearney in there helping out. She'll chip it up off the glass and all the way into the Rocket zone, but not enough for icing. Good draw on that puck. Not having NISO enough for icing so they can get a change in. Boutlier weaving her way up the ice. Kicking it wide. Daniels pulls it wide and around the defenseman, but couldn't get the shot away. Here's Driscoll picking up the loose puck and wheeling it up through the neutral zone. Ella Driscoll makes a move at the blue line, and it sets them offside. .7:45 remaining here in the third period. Driscoll on the draw outside of the Rocket zone, loses that as Poirier chipping it up as Cormier will chip it in. Daniel on the forecheck, trying to work it back as Arsenault steps in from the point. Shot, rebound, McFadden trying to bury her second home as she crashed down hard. That's shoveled over top of the wide open cage by Cormier. Poirier, shot, blocked. Cormier, down low, McFadden trying to shuffle it home. Daniel can't get it elevated. Another chance for Daniel. Delaney holds on to the rebound. As I probably had 5 or 6 shots there for the Rockets on that title. Maybe even 6 or 7 shots there on that little flutter of chances. As I think Thea McFadden had 3 or 4. Annabelle Daniel had 2. Cormier had 1 or 2. So, yeah, maybe 6 or 7 shots there. So, the Rocket now take over the shot category as well as the goal category. They've been a lead here all game. 5-0 the score here. 7 minutes remaining. Asbridge had the lane through the middle, but it couldn't get fed through by O'Dane. Power colliding with her counter-numerical partner in Rodyer. Wilkie will step up and cycle it back down low. Now Rodyer and Power will collide, and that time it will be a penalty, so there'll be a call there. Power still with the puck, and they'll stop play. Rodyer is going to go 2 minutes for body contact. Will be the call, and a power play upcoming here for the Capitals. Power over here. Harlan trying to center back. Here's a chance. Wilkie shot on. Rebound Redmond saves this second opportunity. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on there. O'Dane and Cormier in front of the net. We'll see if anything carries over. Plourde out there now with Colpitts to try to kill off as Zoe Elaine will head off. As well as Savoie to the bench. Battled for here on the face-off dot. Power, who drew the penalty, out with the puck now. She'll cycle it back down low for O'Dane. O'Dane trying to get away from some pressure. She'll work it back down low. Power, pressured by Chloe Waugh, who has it worked to the point. As now back over the far side, over the line. Here's Hartland. Harlan takes her time, she'll walk it in, let a shot go, and Redmond holds on calmly for a whistle. 5:55 remaining, 5-0 the score, with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining on the power play here for the Capitals. They look to get on the board. Face off, blocker side of Redmond. 1, back to the point. Walking, making over an option. Now finding Mumbercat, who's going to get some power play time here. The call up for the Capitals in April. Mumbercat. That puck. Shot high off the mask. Rebound loose in front. That puck got shuffled just wide as Parsons ties up the stick there in the corner. That allows the puck to get worked up to the point. That'll work it D to D. That shot faked by Walter, who will turn it up and over. Here's Plourde with a step. Plourde with one extra step on Walter, who gets hauled down and into the net. We'll wait to see the call. Are they going to point to center? Well, we'll have a quick conversation about it, and we'll wait and see. She had a step, but I don't know about the control part of the aspect. You have to have control and the full-fledged route to the net, just you and the goaltender, so we'll wait to see if it's a trip or a penalty shot. 2 minutes for tripping will be the call, so 4-on-4 action here for about 32 seconds or so. Here's Payne. She'll rim it around. Beaton's going to get pressure, though, from Cormier, as Cormier had pinched in from the point, and will cycle it back down low. Payne in behind her own net, as the Rockets are definitely happy to keep the play down in this end as they look to protect their 5-goal lead. Here's Ward. She'll work it across. Nice little fake move there by Poirier. She'll walk it in. Shot, short side, and a chest save there by Delaney. To the point, Ward. That'll do it for the power play, or the penalty, as Kearney picks it off, and here's a breakaway opportunity. Ashlyn Kearney all alone. Kearney, shot club saved by Redmond. Redmond calmly snags that out of the air on a breakaway from number 88. And the Capitals, a little bit snake bitten here, can't seem to solve the puzzle that is Morgan Redmond. Driscoll, offensive zone draw, trying to win it back. She poked it to the wall, and the Rockets will set up behind the net. Boutlier, she'll take a couple steps out. Now she'll kick it over to McFadden, who has Daniel, who had to slow down at the blue line, but they will collect it. Here's Boutlier. She'll walk across the line. Boutlier for McFadden. She'll walk it in. Shot, rebound loose. Daniel trying to bang it home. Can't do so. Here's Driscoll. She's going to try to chip and chase. Great stick by Boutlier there. Once again, Boutlier, as mentioned, doing it both ends of the ice, offensively and defensively here in this weekend's matchups. Arsenault looking for an option. She'll kick it out wide. Here's McFadden inside the blue line. Dropped off here for Arsenault. Centered. Boutlier. She'll walk it back across the blue line. Over for McFadden. Crossing it down low for Cormier. Wilkie gets to it. Jodry chips into the neutral zone. Nice little play there to find the winger who had swung down low to support. As here's McFadden. She'll toe drag to the middle, but can't get around the skate. It is cleared up. Right out of the box. Here's Harlan. Has a step, but Fitzpatrick, great skill there, and I guess more so speed to get back and catch up to Walter, who had a step, but not for very long. Also, coming to the box, tough to get your feet going. You're flat-footed, right? So Fitzpatrick had already been moving, and Walter just couldn't get just ahead of her far enough to go get that puck. But the Rocket now have it in the Capital zone. They got a nice little cycle going. Here's Elaine. Down low. Elaine shot on and held on to by Delaney. .222 remaining here in the third and final period. Fitzpatrick holds the line. Another display of speed there to get over to hold that line was Fitzpatrick, who has a goal in the game, actually, the second goal. The first 2 goals for the Rocket actually coming from 2 defensemen. Parsons trying to make a move. Fitzpatrick read it and chips it right back in. Inside 2 minutes here now remaining in the third and final period of the day here. Saturday at the Winter Showcase in Fredericton, New Brunswick, live from the Grant Harvey Center. Wilkie works it in on her forehand. She'll cut back and cycle it back down low. Here's a quick 2-on-1. McHenry drives back door. That shot goes off the side of the net and rimmed back here to the point. Wilkie gets it, trying to make a move in her feet. Held the line though, and now it'll be flipped up And all the way into the Capital zone where Harlan has it. She'll work it over here for Kearney. Ward read it. She'll pick it off. Ward lets a shot go off the post. Ward has one already. I think she also hit a post earlier, so she could have had 3 if those would have went one more inch to the right or to the left. Plord picks off in the high slot, lets a shot go. That's blocked. Rebound, and that shot was fanned on the rolling puck. Cycled down into the corner. Plord for Ward in behind the net. Ward got knocked away from the puck there as Kearney picks it up. Kearney looking for an option. She'll flip it. Roger gloves it down, and working it right back here is Roger for Ward. Back for Roger. One-time shot fanned on into the corner. Inside a minute now here remaining. I guess more so. Half a minute remaining here. Third and final period. Cormier, D-to-D shot. And Delaney holds on for a whistle. 30 shots on goal here now for the Rocket, as 24 for the Capitals, and a little bit too late here for them to mount a comeback. So looks like the Rockets will come out victorious in this one. Shots 31-24 in favor of the Rocket, as we're inside 20 seconds now here remaining in the third and final frame. Cormier trying to sneak another one in past Delaney, and she can't do so. Driscoll on the draw, ties up, works it back down low. Here's Cormier, 8 seconds remaining. Centers, that goes off a stick and over to the far side, where Jodry will touch up for the last play of the game, and that'll do it here for 3 periods of regulation. So after 3 periods of play, the Rocket from Moncton are going to come out victorious by a score of 5-0 over the Greenfoot Capitals. Thank you for tuning in here live on High Button Sports. I'm Logan Carruthers. Theo Iatru on the camera. We'll be back here for all of Sunday's action tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We'll see you then. Have a great night. See you later.